Hi and welcome to all the viewers joining us for this pre-recorded show. The meeting moved from Sunday to Wednesday, so the horses have had a couple of extra days. And joining me in studio is Dees Dynand, and racing will take place on Wednesday, the 25th of September. Dees, firstly, how are you doing? And lovely to see the sun out the last 24 hours.
Yeah, we're recording the show a day before, so the sun is out. It's cleared up beautifully. I trust the racing fans are all well. And unbelievable, the weather. I haven't seen anything like that in the history of KZN. The snow, the closing down of roads due to snow and ice, and everything's been happening. But yeah, things seem to be back to normal on this Heritage Day. We're recording it on Heritage Day, so if you're watching the show on the Tuesday, happy Heritage Day to all you guys. Let's get straight into it, Sheldon. Race number one, we'll bring up the field. It's at 12:40, it's over 1,400 meters. It's a maiden plate, and in this race, I'm big on a horse here. As we bring up the field, it's horse number 12, Real War from the Dean Cannemeyer stable. I think just the draw to overcome, that's the obvious concern. A horse that's got the experience now. Last time out over that 1,200 meter trip at Hollywoodbets Scottsville. I like that run behind I Salute You. And 1,400 meters, no doubt going to suit him nicely. This race, with all due respect, with regards to quality, there is a clear lack of form in the race. I think he's the most progressive horse in the field. If he gets the luck from the draw, even if he's placed around midfield, I'll make him a hard horse to beat, Sheldon. I'm going to go all in race number one, and I think the Real War could be the start of the all-to-comes.
Well, he does set the trend, certainly. He's trading at around at about 13 to 10, and Real War, 12 draw. Craig Zaki knows him well, ridden 2 out of the 3 runs to date, fourth and a second. And I think the step up to 1,400 meters is going to be ideal. We both agree that this is going to be a bipod banker to open proceedings. And then obviously number 1, Fortune Hunter, there's improvement to come. Number 2, Vencedor, and a horse like number 3, which is Cosmic Captain. They're all consistent, and even number 5, Deputy Chief, worth a bit of a mention. But it's all in number 12, Real War, and if the Real War brings his A-game to the track, I think he'll be expected to beat the field in race number 1.
Place accumulator race number 2, you'll need to get on by 13:15. It's over 1,000 meters. It's a maiden plate, and the field now with all 12 runners going to post here. I think the talking horse is going to be horse number 9, Cola Tonic. I'll just give you some betting here before we ask Sheldon for his top choice. Number 1 at 8 to 1, 4 at 5 to 1, 5 is trading at 9 to 2. Number 9, Cola Tonic, could be generously priced up at 7 to 2, 10 is at 6 to 1, and 12 is at 9 to 2. This horse, Cola Tonic, for Garrett Van Zyl. What did you make of that comeback run the other day?
Well, Dees, I make this one of the better bets on the card, and when it opened up 4 to 1, obviously was supposed to run the other day and was priced up 9 to 2, priced up 4 to 1, shortened 7 to 2. I'm very, very strong on number 9, Cola Tonic. The reason being, his last run over 1,400 meters, I was on duty that day, and I went to Gavin Van Zyl. And I asked him, what is the story with Cola Tonic? He brings some very strong form lines into the race. He said they just need to learn to teach this horse to learn to settle. He's a horse who seems to over-race, and he's a big, strong horse. He wants to get on with the going. Coming back from the rest over 1,400, he showed the pace. They tried to get him to settle, but they're bringing him back to the 1,000. I think that's going to be the winning recipe. If you look at his form lines behind Sweetie Darling, a number of winners have come out of there. If you look at Lion Rampant, Roman Agent, so all you have to do is look at the form lines. His debut run, Sahara Cat's come out to win 2, Handsome Prince, Vion's Web, and then of course horses like Unbel D, Roman Agent, Golden Rule, Lion Rampart, Bjorn Ironside, Grand Crescendo's come out to win 2 and run 3rd in a graded race. So if you look at all of his form lines, far too good for this field. At 7 to 2 now, I still think there's value there. Back to 1,000 meters, I'm all in Cola Tonic.
Let's be with you. Number 9, Cola Tonic, you heard it from Sheldon. Just the problem about him being more relaxed in the running last time out. And I think over this 1,000-meter trip, but even if he comes out a bit fresh, all he needs to do is just settle in the running, not fight for his head, and just give Marco Rensburg a smooth run in transit. And one would think this 1,000 meters on the turf with a draw that's 9 out of the 12 runners, he should overcome that with his gate speed. His form line of his last start, just to add on Sheldon's mention about his Cape form lines, 4 runners, 1 winners, 2 seconds. That is a form line to follow here in KZN. So we are big on number 9, Colatonic, in leg 1 of that placed accumulator. We'll be gutted if that doesn't finish in the top 3, and at around 7-2 could represent the value. When you have a look at the other runners, there are cases to be made for a few of them. Number 9, Who Blinked. Horse number 10, Mo King, who seems to be better on the poly track. And then the interesting horse could be number 12, Future Flow. He's had his fair share of chances, but he's an honest horse, and I think he's one for exactors and quartets. But to wrap up, race 2, we are in the camp of 9, Colatonic.
Right, welcome back for race number 3, as Dees would say, the big one. So we'll get to him in a moment and see what numbers we'll need. The opening leg of the pick 6 over 1,600 meters. 13:45 is the carded off time. Now, just be very careful here with the betting, because number 5, Hodgepodge, is 22-10. Number 2, Sweet Reunion, 9-2. Now, this is obviously, they've repriced up these. When they originally priced up for the weekend, this horse, Hodgepodge, opened up 9-2. The money absolutely flooded out 22-10. So what can you tell us about Hodgepodge? Obviously, with the meeting being moved, the betting's been revised, and now the 22-10 favourite is number 5, Hodgepodge. Sean Veal and Stuart Ferry, they've hit a winning note. And of course, that horse, Hippocrates, the other day, the punter, I think it was punter 36, yes, won that money.
Yeah, he won the money, 700k plus. You managed to call it home for him. You know, that Hollywoodbets Punters Challenge, I was working in studio. As soon as the guy hit neither here nor there, I promise you, I'm not just saying this, I knew he was going to win it. Because GM Batista was the poly specialist, great ride, but then Hippocrates we both like. We labelled it on the show.
100%, big price.
Big price, and he had the run of the race from the draw. So well done to that guy. I mean, he managed to find that outsider that Kumalo rode in Roy Moodley Silks. I think that was the one that dropped a lot of tickets early on, Paul Gatsby's horse.
Yes, early on in the,
I think you like Lemon Scent to us.
Yes, Lemon Scent.
Just be unlucky on the line.
2 big roughies there.
That could have gone either way for him. Lemon Scent gets up, he loses the Punter's Challenge. You need a lot.
100%.
You need a lot to go your way. But coming back to this race, this horse, Hodgepodge, yeah, Sheldon is right. The fixed odds betting market, they used the weekend's betting as a guide, saw where the action is, and then when they repriced up, there was no value with number 5, Hodgepodge. But coming back to the horse, I think the one thing that is clearly noticeable, this horse, this filly, she is a half-sister to that horse, Afrad, who is a useful staler up in Gauteng, winning races from 1,800 to 2,600 meters. So this horse has been racing over distances too short for her. Now that she's going a mile, I think she's going to love the step up in distance. She's an obvious each-way chance, but I can't give you all the confidence in the world to bank her in the PA. I've made it very tricky. I like number 2, Sweet Reunion. We know that she gets the trip. She's proven it at the last 2 starts. She's nicely drawn. Zena Rose is now 11-2 from an opening call of 7-1. And last time out, if you can recall, they put the money down. They thought that she'll have an outstanding chance of winning. She ran a fair race behind Blind Speed. I think there's more to come from her. Pull a fast one, Wendy Whitehead's runner. On that last start, she found one better, Com Naidu's runner, Jet Lavish. But nevertheless, she seems to be improving all the while. And then Amzolo Zolo, many will consider for the pick 6. So I'm suggesting 4 runners in the PA. 2, 5, 10, and 11. And then for the pick 6, I'll consider including 12. So I'm going with the form runners. I don't see anything past those runners winning, but I'm sure a lot of guys will be looking at number 5, Hodgepodge, having watched the anti-post betting market over the weekend and following through now on Wednesday. But if I had to pick a winner here, Sheldon, I'm going to go Zena Rose.
I'm in your camp, number 10, Zena Rose. I like the fact that this individual improved, showed the improvement, and just looking at the betting, opening up 7-1 again was a decent price. The money's come. And after watching last time out, quite unlucky behind blind speed. I think a horse is still learning about the tricks of the trade. And the 1600 meter trip's going to be right up her alley. So we're both in the same camp. Number 10, Zena Rose. A little bit of luck in the running. Scratched is number 9 at the early time of recording, so it'll come in one barrier. So Zena Rose, I think, could be the value. And then number 8, Long Street, a horse that you've got to consider. Muzieni rode Zena Rose last time out. He's now riding Long Street, so it'll be interesting to see the riding arrangements there. But Zena Rose, for me, I'll be in your camp, the horse to beat.
I think you picked out one more runner for pick sixes because I didn't mention number 8, so that could also be one that you'll have to consider. But there are 11 runners go to post, and if you're playing with the rule, well, it needs to be 5 runners. If it's more than that, then you're going to have to include the field. But both Sheldon and I like number 10, Zena Rose, as a roving banker. It is a very tricky start to the pick 6. Our quality race is race number 4. It's a conditional progress. It's over 1600 meters. It's the start of Jackpot 1, and you'll need to get on by 14:25. 2 important scratchings at the time of recording, numbers 7 and 8. So it's a small field of just 6 runners that go to post. When you look at the best weighted column, it's topped by number 9, Noble City, ahead of number 4, Forgiveness, Broadway Girl, Spelling Bee, and French Flame. So there would have been adjustments in the betting, etc. But number 2, Spelling Bee, Sheldon, is at 2-1. Number 4, Forgiveness, that's at 28-10. 5, French Flame at 7-2. And then 9, Noble City, that's at 7-2. I'm just going to consider 2 horses for the place accumulator here. The pick 6, I'll need your help to see how many horses we can include. Number 2, Spelling Bee, always gets a mention from me. He hasn't been running badly, although he's let the side down his last 2 starts. He's a good horse. And number 4, Forgiveness, well, she could be nicely in here and possibly cleverly placed, Sheldon, by Mike de Kock. You know, she's taking on the boys, but she's got the low weight on her side, 52.5. And you had to be encouraged with that comeback run. You know, 1400 meters looks to be on the sharp side for her. Perella is a nice sort. Perella is, Dennis Bosch has turned that horse around since that horse joined his yard.
Yes, that grey horse, unbelievable what Dennis Bosch has done. Sometimes a change of scenery, a change of a few tricks in the trade and that horse Perilla has certainly risen the game and climbing the ladder. And you could be onto something here, number 4, Forgiveness D's, at the weight's 52.5 kilograms. Looking at the best weighted column, Noble City's on a 99, which will be my first selection. Number 4, Forgiveness. I make a big danger with number 2, Spelling Bee. But like you mentioned, Serena Moodley jumps aboard her. She had that 1 run behind Perilla, and she's sure to have come on leaps and bounds. She's still a 1-time winner. She could be a little bit of a late maturer, although she won earlier on, and you've got to give her healthy respect. So she'll be in my top 3 selections. However, number 9, Noble City's, for me, the horse they all have to beat. If you go back in the form lines, although 7.3 lengths behind Dave the King, has run some decent races, Mrs. Geriatrics back in 3rd. And with the 2 scratchings, Rachel Benneker taking the weight off the back, even though 81 days off the track, depending how much work they've got into Noble City, I'm going to go number 9, Noble City, a course and distance winner. And then between Spelling Bee and number 5, Forgiveness. I think those 3 runners, we should be safe in the pick 6 and the exotics.
I agree. 3 runners in the pick 6, numbers 2, 4, and 9. Place accumulator, play around those numbers 2, 4, and 9 as well, and even for the bipod. But Sheldon likes number 9, Noble City, as his top choice. I'm going to go with my Spelling Bee, as I've been faithful the last 2 runs where I mentioned, you know, he hasn't run badly, but he just needs to get some confidence back now. Number 2, Spelling Bee. So I'm going to tip number 2, Spelling Bee. Sheldon likes number 9, Noble City. And the joker of the pack is the filly, number 4, Forgiveness.
As we move along to race number 5 at the early time of recording, number 1, Zacco is scratched. So take out number 1, Zacco. Let me have a double look. Number 1, Zacco. So there will be a deduction if you took a bet early on. Right, let's get straight into the action. There will now be 7 runners who go down to the post. The betting has number 7, Blackberry Malt at 16-10. Number 3, Nat Jam at 5-2. And then number 8, which will be the talking horse, Kaiomai at 33-10. And after that, number 6, Vion's Bomb at 6-1. And this is a horse looking for 5 in a row. So let's see how number 6, Vion's Bomb goes. It's not too often, Dees, that you get a horse looking for 5 in a row.
He's a talented horse. I mean, once they put him over ground, he hasn't put a foot wrong. Richard Faria's got on superb with him. And each time the handicapper's given him a few points, he's just risen his game. He's a smart horse. He's now racing off a 94. It makes it tougher, and this looks to be on the sharp side for him. And I've always been told, back horses that are in form, most of the time you'll get the result that you need. But with this horse, I just feel it's on the sharp side. He's coming off a short break. They may have races in mind for him. He's a talented horse. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he can't win, but I'd like to just watch him this time round. There are horses that are in form, that are fit. Now, one of them is number 3, Natyam. We know how good he is, having reeled off the hat-trick early on in his career. He won a good race when they put the money down at his penultimate start. His last start behind Barathian, nice run. Barathian, we worked that day, remember, Sheldon? We said that could certainly be the value.
100%. Big price, 16-1,
big
20-1.
Price it was, and the horse won well. But this horse was finishing off his race well. But purely on that line of form, I know that Kaioma was penalized a half a kg, so is a half a kg worse off at Natyam. But the way this horse Kaioma has been racing, I just feel that that last start gave me a lot of confidence. He beat Natyam. I'm not concerned about this wide draw because it takes a bit of time to unwind. When you go back, if there's a replay that you want to watch about Kaioma, don't watch his last start. Go and watch his maiden win. I don't know if you called it that day. It was one of the early races on the day, and he was hopelessly. He got done in during the race. He was at the back of the field. He had a mountain to climb. Don't ask me how he got up that day.
Yes.
I'm going to watch that replay. That replay you need to watch is on the 10th of June. Just type in Petia. Type in Petia. Oh, no, type in Kaioma. Type in the winner. And then that replay will come up. And go and watch that maiden replay. You'll be wowed the way the horse got up.
I remember calling that race. He came from the absolute clouds.
Nowhere.
I think he came up the outside and
correct.
he came screaming home.
Yes.
And then obviously he was rated a 104 at one point in his time behind Sandringham's Summit. He's run behind the likes of Money Heist and some decent horses, Shampompa, Shampizi. And the fact that he came to his bet last time out indicates that he's ready to win again. And from a 104, he's off an 85. You really like him?
I like him a lot. I think, wherever Natyam finish, he'll be on top of him. I'm hoping he'll be in front of him. So he's going to be my top choice ahead of number 3, Natyam. Blackberry Malt, who's now at around 17-10. Last time out, this horse cost me a ton, Sheldon. A ton. I promise you, the way the results were going that day, this was the one horse that cost me a lot with the Alter Comes. But nevertheless, he ran a good race. Golden Peace was the horse that beat him. And then Garrett will have a good line because, he trains Golden Peace. He's got Natyam in the race. But Blackberry Malt, he'll be part of my top 3, but not my top choice. I'm going to tip number 8, Kaioma, to beat number 3, Natyam. I'm hoping these two can fight it out from that form line. Number 7, Blackberry Malt. And then my joker in the pack, if you're playing it wide in the jackpot, don't leave number 2 out, Twatwa Cut.
There we go, number 2, Twatwa Cut, one of those horses that could certainly rise to the occasion, and this is from the powerful Mike de Kock stable. So race number 5, scratch number 1, Zacco, and that'll leave us with 7 runners at this point in time.
Last pick 3 on the card would be race number 6, 1400 meters, D division, fillies and mares, 68 handicap. And you need to get on with this pick 3 at 15:35. We'll bring up the field. You'll see number 4 is a scratching, which is Purple Flower. Just to give you some guide with the betting, number 1, Averni Gores, 14-10. Then we got number 3 at 7-1. Number 5, Bosnay Sheldon from 33-1. That's been back to 20-1. 6, She's a Bomber is at 33-10, or 3-1, apologies. And then it is number 8 at 7-1. I'm going to begin with the favorite here because I'll make this a place accumulator banker. I may even go as far as to say a bipod banker because the bipod ends here. I kept a very close eye on that post maiden run. I'm not one that will go all in unless I'm really wowed by the maiden victory. But that post maiden run over 1,400 meters against a fair field on the poly track was a good run. Once you start racing against winners with the experience of other runners, it really tells where you are in the pecking order and ability. So that was a nice run, and all I think she needs to do is repeat that performance. I think she'll translate that poly form onto the turf. She's nicely drawn at one. She's a right horse that they got at top of betting boards. I'll make her a place accumulator banker. Barport is a stretch for me, but I think there are a few horses that could challenge her and some nice outsiders as well.
We both come up with the horse that we fancy, which has early support, number 5, Bosnay, the 33-1. That looked to be some real good value. In fact, I made this my value bet last time out, from 33-1 down 12-1. I thought dropping to the 1200 with the blinkers would suit her. Like if you go back in the form lines there, she was a 92, and earlier than that, she was up in the ratings, a 95. She's racing off a 70. Last time out, she was up there, but she faded so tamely over that 1,200-meter trip. So I'm wondering if the headgear is going to stay on or not. What's the move over the 1,400? But the 33-1 was enticing.
Yeah, and, I'm not saying that she doesn't go in, the yielding conditions, because her form says that she has won in the soft. But she just seemed to be all over the place on that inside running rail. I can remember the race clearly because we both liked her.
She wasn't comfortable.
She wasn't comfortable. She couldn't find the right leg. The kid looked like he was battling because he was trying to keep her straight. And then suddenly, I don't know whether the horse gave up or the kid gave up. Because he wasn't getting no help from the horse.
No, there was no help there.
It was just a futile exercise if you're going to take the saber out and start giving up a few smacks, because you're not getting anything from the horse. And usually you'll see that. We're not saying that the guys don't ride the horses out, but you take care of the animal first in the race, the well-being of the horse, especially if you see that there's no interest from the horse. I mean, what's the use punishing the horse to run? That's the way I read the race last time out, because she showed very little interest to a point, and that was it. So we're both hoping that, she's got a further help now after that run. From a 73, she's dropped to a 70, so she's got further help for their running that poor race.
So if ever she's going to win, it's going to be this time.
I think so. I really think that we may have found her off the right mark. And I like her over 1,400. She's not a sprint. Over sprint trips, the sprinters are going to beat her.
Yes.
1,400 is that
in-between distance.
In-between distance, correct. Where you're going to try and keep up with the pace and then outstay them. I think she has that potential, because if you go to that run over a mile at Hollywoodbets Scottsville, a penultimate start when she was poorly drawn, that day, if she repeats that run and runs that race for 7 furlongs, I say she wins.
100%.
Because that day she jumped out from the wide draw, she went to the front, and she looked to be traveling easily, and then she tied very late.
100%, and that was over 1,600, so the 1,400 is going to be ideal. And then the Hollywoodbets Durbanville winner, Kabela Matsanyani. He's ridden the biggest race in the country to victory. He's going to have his eyes on the prize here. And I think the 33-1, even the 20-1 now, I think the guys can go each way. And I think we found the value selection. And then number 6, She's a Bomber. Now, the form lines worked out well, but she's had 97 days off, so the form lines would have worked out well. What do you make of this? Did you see her victory first time out?
Yes, I did. And I wrote here, if she's ready against this type of field, she could be anything. If you pull out a form line, beside the 2 winners, there have been 3 subsequent winners. So that form line is strong up in Gauteng. She is a young horse, having her debut as a 3-year-old. Obviously a late 2-year-old. She used to be at Johan Janssen van Rensburg, but I think she could be anything. I'll keep a very close eye on the betting market with her. If she finds betting support, that will give you a bit more confidence if you like her. But I think 3 runners here. Number 1, Averni Goddess. Horse number 6, She's a Bomber. And then we like number 5, Bosnay. You have to include her in all bets. The fact that she's come down in the ratings, she could be in the right field. And I just want to give a comment on Asposteki, because I'm sure Carl Judson won't mind me saying this. Over the weekend when we were supposed to race, he fancied this horse's chances strongly. I had a chat to him prior to coming on the show, which, we could not show because the race meeting was moved. But he did mention to me that he likes the horse a lot. And I don't know what price. Maybe you can just give it to the guys. I don't know what price she is, but if she has to come through, that'll be a good result. He's not concerned about the 61 kgs. And you can see, you know, on a day she flashes up. Number 2, Asposteki, so the stable like her.
12.5 to 1. So 12.5 to 1, maybe a bit of 14 to 1 if you shop around in that. But certainly Asposteki, she's one of those horses I think is going to enjoy dropping to the 1400. Her last run was over the mile. They've experimented her with a number of different things. So 12 to 1, 12.5 to 1, certainly worth getting involved there. So, race number 6, you're going to be the judge at the end of the day, but Deez and I have come up with number 5, Bosnay, who opened up 33 to 1, and hopefully she'll run an Admiral race. Penultimate race of the day, so there's 2 hurdles left to negotiate. If you're looking to play a double at Hollywoodbets Greyville, races 7 and 8. And of course, keep an eye on the track condition in the morning. The sun has been out, so things should start drying up nicely. And race number 7 is due off at 16:05. Betting, number 1, Boom Shakalaka, who the guys really got stuck into last time out and absolutely waltzed in. Beat 1 Scotch by 4 lengths on that occasion. That is your current favourite, 18 to 10. Number 2, 21 May. Now, when this won the maiden 3 runs back, found a ton of support and brought home the money. Number 4, Gorgeous Guy at 6 to 1. And just looking at Gorgeous Guy's taken on a little bit stronger in the past, so has to be a big runner. And then USA's Hope at around 6 to 1. These, when you look at race number 7, 54 kilograms from a 1 draw for Boom Shakalaka. Both runs has found support, but in particular last time, came back from Cape Town, had the gelding, everything under control, and on course the boys didn't want to know about Boom Shakalaka getting beat.
Yeah, they got everything there. I mean, that day, I think those first races with Peter Muscat as well, I think they were all into this horse. Won a good race. Yeah, we come on, we do the homework, we try and guide the guys in the right direction. But personally, and I always say this, for you and I, and for most of the guys that present, the first point of call in this industry is being a punter. Before anything else, we are punters before anything
100%.
else. So the guys out there mustn't feel that we are not hurting as well. We tip, we play. We also hurt. We 100%. Also bleed. We bleed.
We bleed a lot. We back a lot of losers.
So I often have this conversation. I mean, you think you're tipping on television, guys losing. I'm also losing. We play. If there's one thing that we both know is both of us, for years now, 20 years plus, we play.
100%.
And when everyone's getting a hiding, we're getting a hiding as well.
We're in the same boat.
So the reason I say this is because I've taken a stance here. I'm not putting the guys off. If 1 wins, I'm out. If 2 wins, I'm out. They got the draw, they'll have the run of the race, they look like exciting horses. 18 to 10, 9 to 2. I'm going to play for a result here, and I'm going to play a big quartet in this race, because I don't like fancied horses. That's where you try and get the quartet right. My numbers, my top choice is going to be Cabinet Shuffle. That's the horse I like. Louis Courson's runner. Last time out behind Roche Kadesh, money down, quietly fancied, liked the effort, wasn't a bad run. Just go and pull up the rating drop and you'll see what I mean. 108 to a 79 now. Horses come right down. These are the type of horses that I just wait for the signs to be there where they're giving you that indication they're coming back to form. And last time out, the signs were there. So with a bit of luck from the draw, I think that could be the value in the race at around 10 to 1. I like a 25 to 1 shot with 53 on his back, Heaven's Will. I think the speed is the key here, because last time out with Muziani, there was no pace and no speed from the horse. But go to that penultimate start over 1400. I'm not saying that the track is likely going to be coming up soft, Sheldon, but with all the rain that we have, there'll be some give in the ground, just making it a bit more tougher over the 1200. And the fact that this horse has gone start to finish over 1400, Sereno can use this lightweight, overcome the draw at 25 to 1. That's the type of horse that I'm looking for to make the, everything pay. 10 USA's Hope is at around 6 to 1. That gives an each way chance. Putalicious, Gorgeous Guy. The list goes on when you look past numbers 1 and 2. But for the place accumulator, let me give you numbers for PAs. 4, 9, and 8. That's going to be my PA numbers. If I had to choose PA numbers here, 4 at 6 to 1, 9 at 10 to 1, and 8 at 25 to 1. Playing for a result.
It's actually amazing how us punters and us presenters and that we follow horses. Cabinet Shuffle, last time out I made the value bet. You can see 25 to 1 down 8 to 1. I thought it was the right race for Cabinet Shuffle. So I'm once again in the camp at around 10 to 1, each way bet.
Sure.
Number 3, Putulicious. Worth having a little bit of a bet. Let's see what price Putulicious is. Also 10 to 1.
Yes.
And then after that, let's have a see.
Heaven's Will. 25.
Heaven's Will. There we go. So you can back 3 horses in the race and still make a profit. And with Cabinet Shuffle, if you go back, finished behind Imalenze Yoko de Duma, Gladiatorian, who came out to win, and King of the Gauls. So that gets you really excited.
Those are horses. I mean, King of the Gauls is a horse that is very quick, very speedy from the Tony Ruvelin stable. In fact, he's our KZN champion sprinter. Gladiatorian needs no introduction. Stuart Ferry has done amazing with him. We saw him come back the other day and win such a race at Hollywoodbets Scottsville. If you're talking about those horses against this type of field, if Cabinet Shuffle can just confirm his last start and just step up on that, he'll go close to winning. So we like a few horses here in race number 7. We've given you a few runners to think about. We've given you some value in the race. All that you need to do now is work out the puzzle. Well, Fillies and Mares 82 handicap will close things off race number 8 over 1,000 meters. Obviously, hopefully come race number 8, I won't be sending Sheldon an SMS in the commentary box to send me an e-wallet for the 8th race.
I'll bring you the cash down.
Okay, race number 8. What's happening here? Well, this is the way they go. Number 1 is at 10 to 1. Horse number 3 at 3 to 1, number 4 at 9 to 2, 5 is at 7 to 1. Then we got number 10 at 9 to 2 and 11 at 5 to 1. Here I just like 2 runners for the PA. For the pick 6, I've included 2 more runners. I'm hoping for a form result. If anything else has to win and I'm running in the pick 6, then I'm out. The 2 runners for the PA Sheldon going to be number 4 Taro Star. I firstly must compliment a very small stable of Daryl Moore. He's done an excellent job with this filly, especially the way he brought her back last time out. She could have won that race. We like Rugged Lover. She made a race of it. She carries 61 kgs. I'm not concerned about the weight. Miss Lady Atrix, this Yoga's governor, last time out when they put the money down, they went doubles, trebles. Alles was going into this horse. I think they won with a runner prior to that. The name escapes me. It wasn't Soho. Was it Soho?
Soho Star, maybe.
Must have been. They won with the runner prior to that. No, man, it was an expensive horse that came. Bourbon something.
Bourbon Warrior.
That's the horse. That's the horse that won before that, and then they had the double going into the last race with this horse. That's therefore that late flurry was that the bookmakers adjusting their books. 18 to 10. She came up in the last, and Colin Naidoo and all the boys were there, and they said, I think our horse can win here. And I like Rugged Lover. She nearly got it won. She nearly won. She nearly won that race. I promise you, she was a bit stuck on that inside running rail. Rugged Lover and them had the clear run. That was an excellent run from her. So I pencil her in as one to follow. I think, this type of race will suit her because she's nicely drawn going around the turn. So numbers 3 and 4 for me. In the PA. In the pick 6, my backup is 10 and 11. That's it.
There we go. So that's race number 8. And then number 1, War Empress at around 12 to 1. Although she was beaten 3 lengths by Rugged Lover last time out, she's a horse who certainly can get into the equation. So if you're looking for a horse to include, number 1, War Empress at around 12 to 1. Best of the draw is held on the Rugged Lover form line, but if you look at the ratings and that, I think should be a lot closer. So ending off these, race number 8, we're going to throw in a few runners here and hope to survive the last.
Yeah, I'm going to go with those 4 runners. I'll consider your horse. Now, I looked at it at the draw, but I just went purely on that form behind Rugged Lover, and I said numbers 3 and 4 look to have the horse held. But she's got the draw, and as you mentioned, maybe she could reverse the form. But I'm sticking with the Rugged Lover form between numbers 3 and 4 for the place accumulator, 10 and 11 at the backup. Sheldon suggesting that if you're looking for a result, the 10 to 1 shot, number 1, War Empress, has to be included. And that's a wrap, racing fans. Sheldon Peters, Gallop TVT, myself, D's down, and have a blast, find all the winners, and hopefully it turns out to be a wonderful day for you if you're playing at Hollywoodbets Greyville. Until we meet again, you take care. Salanik Ashley.
So the suggested bet for the day, I have recommended a buy pot for the players out there. I usually go an each way bet, a value bet and a best bet. Today we're going to take our chances with a buy pot. Right, let's get into the straight leg, the opening leg of the buy pot, where we're going to go with horses 1 and 12. Second leg, we're going to banker number 9. Third leg, we're going to go with numbers 5, 8 and 10. By numbers 2 and 9. By numbers 3 and 7, and then closing off the buy pot numbers 1, 5 and 6. So that's my suggested bet for the day on the 25th, Wednesday, Hollywoodbets Greyville. We're going to take a buy pot at Greyville and hopefully we come out on top.